What am I down here for? There we go. All right, let's solo truck los tres chingones boxing shops, all the chingones y chingonas. Dispensa for the delay. I had the mic set up and everything, and for one reason or another, I just couldn't get it to work out, home. So I had to just disconnect the whole thing at the end. And if there's dogs barking in the background or any noise that goes on, you guys are gonna be able to hear it, man. The ghetto bird, any shots, any viejas yelling outside for my name, because they want me that much. You guys are gonna have to hear it. All right, so let's see. What's up, Pete Town, Shawana, C Dog, Yulik, Yulik, Yulik. All right, so David's still off on vacation. He'll be back next week. Mikey decided to opt out this week. All right. He'll be back next week. He's working on a couple of things that's going to try to sway you guys a certain way. Shout outs to Mike Zavala, man. So it's just me here today. As you guys can see, that's when I put that little guy right there instead of the three dogs. So, anyway, Holmes, look, boxing has been a little bit slow. We're gonna get into quite a few things, okay? And I'm gonna get in to something that I got into my live last night on my Cholo Trucker channel as well, simply just because I aired it on this channel as well. But before we do all that, man, look, boxing has been a little bit slow, at least on this side of the world. There has been some boxing going on other places in the world. Nothing big, nothing major, no big major names or anything of that sort. I know Cecilia Brakes, she fights tomorrow. I didn't think she fought anymore, man. Gosh, I don't know how old she is. She fights in Norway. Yeah, a couple of fights across the pond. Like I said, nothing big, nothing major. This past Saturday, I did see what was he, a light heavyweight? Some dude, he only had like 7 fights. I forgot his name. He looked pretty good. He looked pretty good, man. But again, not a lot going on in boxing, with the exception of cheese mess. So let's get into that cheese man, all right? Gordo gordito, cule. All right, so let's get into some of that cheese man, all right? One thing is, it is official. The rumors were out there for quite a while, and we all saw this coming. But now it really, truly is official. Lamont Roach will be facing Pitbull Cruz. Look, it's a good fight. I like that fight. This is going to be Lamont Roach. This fight is going to happen at 140. Now, we did talk about this for a brief moment when they first brought up this fight. Okay. And we're just kind of like on this roller coaster, like, okay, well, wait, hold on. Is Pitbull going down to 135? Because in reality, Lamont Roach, he's not even a 135er. Lamont Roach moved up to 135 from 130 simply and only to fight Tank Davis for that one fight. And then there was talks about the rematch. And now, so we were just like, okay, so what's it gonna have? Where's it gonna happen? This fight's happening at 140. Now, Pitbull's been at 140 for a second or two. You know what, Pete Town? I didn't, man. I saw that Iglesias fought. What was it? Was it yesterday? I'm gonna watch some of those fights on Saturday night. Saturday night, I don't really have anything going on. Saturday is all about my Dodgers, but that's during the day, man. So and if I'm gonna be a realist, I'm rooting for my Dodgers all the way through and through. I mean, think blue, bleed blue, Dodger blue. But if I'm gonna be a realist, I don't think they're gonna make it this year. Their bullpen's horrible. But let's get back to boxing. So Saturday night, I'll probably catch up on some of those fights. But Lamont Roach moving up to 140 when he only had one fight at 135. I know that could kind of seem a little bit like, you know what, man, I don't know about that. But at the same time, I want to go and say this. I'm not even really so sure Pitbull is even a true 140 pounder, right? He's short, but he is stocky. He's been there for a while. So he has fought 140 pounders. But I think the stack is, the odds are stacked against Lamont Roach here, man. I like this fight. I do. I think this would be a really good fight. It's just Roach moving from 135. I'm sorry, moving from 130, one pit stop at 135, and then now moves up to 140. And against a pressure fighter, Pitbull is not a boxer, homie. He is not a jab, jab, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 move. Pitbull, dog, he doesn't even really throw straight punches. Most of his punches are hooks and uppercuts. I think it's going to overwhelm Lamont Roach, man. I know a lot of people were kind of impressed with Lamont, what he did with Tank Davis. I was even a little bit impressed with Lamont Roach. But to me, he's still somewhat of the same fighter that he was at 130, which was he's a good fighter. I don't think he's terrible. But I don't, because we never saw Tank Davis going up against the best, people just kind of throw him in that category that he's one of the top guys. And it's like, oh, man, look what Lamont Roach did against one of the top guys, man. I mean, one of the top guys just because he's popular, but he never really proved it against anybody. All the guys that he fought against were guys that he moved up, all his great wins, right? Leo Santa Cruz moved up from 126 to 135, right? Mario Barrios, Tank Davis went to 140 for the rehydration clause. The Ryan Garcia fight, catchweight with rehydration clause. Ryan Garcia, I know this for a fact, was wearing a sweatsuit the night before the fight, Friday night, wearing a sweatsuit, running so he can make the second weight on Saturday. So, while Tank Davis was probably one of the popular guys, one of the most popular guys at 135, I mean, was he really one of the best? He could have been. We'll never know. But I don't want to confuse Lamont Roach because he gave Tank Davis all he can handle and now say, like, man, Lamont Roach is the real deal. Look what he did with Tank Davis. Well, Tank Davis looked good, homie, but look who he looked good against. So I give Lamont Roach a good shot at this one. Who do I favor? Pitbull, but I give Lamont Roach a good shot at it. Let me see. Moving up again. Yeah, he is, man. Yes, he is. Let me see. Pitbull Cruz, Real Deal Holyfield, only smoke Rayo. And now Rayo wants to fight Pac-Man. I think everybody wants Pac-Man, dog. Pitbull about to get cooked. Wow, some style. Oh, okay. Let me see. Watch Garcia versus Moreno. That was a banger. All right. I'll be sure to do that, man. I'll be watching those fights Saturday night. Pitbull throws 50 to 100 punches round through Cholo. He's a machine. He's definitely a machine, man. He throws a lot of punches. And they're all power punches. It is extremely rare that you see Pitbull throw a jab. He'll throw, I don't know, man, maybe 10 jabs in the entire fight. All his punches, dog, are just power punches. What's up, Andrew? Roach ain't no Yoriokis. Dog, Yoriokis Gamboa, they should put him in the Hall of Fame just the way wrestling put the Brooklyn Brawler in the Hall of Fame, like in that category. Pitbull Cruz is a problem for a lot of guys. He smoked Barrios, Haney, Shakur, Hitchens too. Cholo, that's my guy. Okay, all right. Well, you got a lot of faith in Pitbull Cruz, man. I think a true boxer would take it to Pitbull. A true boxer, especially somebody who's a little bit taller, a little bit more lengthy. I think Shakur, puts it to him, dog. I'm not saying Shakur beats him down like a dog, but I think he easily beats him. I think a real true boxer would probably not knock out or stop Pitbull, but Pitbull just comes in with power punches, man. So that's a fight to look forward to, man. That one's coming up in a few months. I mean, in a few months. I mean, what, next month or is in December? I forgot when it was, but I mean, that's a good fight. I like that fight. I do want to see that fight. The sad thing about all this, the sad thing about all this is that Lamont Roach is not getting his rematch, which he rightfully earned, which he rightfully earned. He earned that rematch against Tank Davis. He got screwed over by the ref and by the athletic commission. The athletic commission went back and reviewed it. And they said they're not going to change everything, even though they admit it. Oh, yeah, that was a knockdown and it should be a disqualification, but we're just going to stick with what the ref said. Damn, dog. That I feel bad for Lamont Roach, man. But hey, you know what? Knuckle up and just continue with your career. Sad, dog. It's sad. I really wanted that rematch to happen. Or at least the athletic commission to actually be honest about it and say, like, you know what? Give the win to Lamont. After we reviewed it, yeah, that's a knockdown. And he went to his corner illegally. But all this, hey, we're just going to stick with the ref. Complete BS, Holmes. Complete BS. Nah, Shakur hurt his hands. Okay. I mean, he does have a history of hurting his hands. All right. So that's a good fight right there. I like it. I think it sucks, man, that Lamont Roach is not going to get his shot at Tank Davis, and that Tank Davis is going to get rewarded with a big money fight against Jake Paul. I hope Jake Paul doesn't take it lightly. I hope he fights. Okay, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. All right, man. Let's get into a little Canelo news. Canelo, he is out for a while. I was watching The Ring, and it was Mike Coppinger, right? It's a panel of 4 guys. Mike Coppinger on that show sticks out as like a straight weenie, homie. I like Mike. Don't get me wrong, dog. The guy, Mike Coppinger, he's got the inside scoop. I do read some of his articles and everything, but it's like everybody that's on that panel, they seem like men, and he just seems, I don't know. I mean, he seems like a straight wiener to me, dog. It's like, dog, I don't know. Something about you, dog. It just, you got Shady McCoy, you got Max Kellerman, who sometimes talks like the Micro Machine Man, and then the other one, they kind of revolve, right? They've had Ryan Garcia on there, they've had Nightmare Areola, and this time around they had I forgot who they had on there the last time, right? But it always seems like, okay, cool, chopping it up with the boys, homie. It seems speed, man. But Mike Coppinger, I don't know if it's the way he talks or I don't know, dog. I don't know, homie. He just seems like a wiener, dog. Like, hey, dog, like, man up a little bit. I don't know, dog. I maybe it's just me. I'm not even really sure, dog. But it's just something about him just kind of sticks out. Like he's, I don't know, he's scared. Like, I don't know, man. All the other dudes, their manly personalities like overshadow him, and he's just kind of there, like, just, I don't know, dog. Maybe it's just me, Holmes. But Roach has to work with Pitbull. Yeah, it's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a good fight, that's for sure, man. A straight weirdo. Who, Mike Coppinger? I don't know, something, dog. Just on that panel, I just sometimes feel a little bit bad for him. Get well soon. Yeah, he does need a little bit of a break, man. Now, Mike a freak, and those other guys are dorks. Max Kellerman does come off a little bit off, man. I will say that. Max Kellerman don't want to get fired again. Yeah, no, he was gone for a long time. Man. So anyway, okay. So what I was getting to is that they went ahead and Mike Coppinger came out and he had said that Canelo's having elbow surgery, that he was slated to be back in February. And if you guys remember, Holmes, if you guys remember, when he first signed the deal with Turki Al-Sheikh, we knew that he was going to fight next February. Okay, well, that's off the table now because he's having elbow surgery, right? So now, according to Mike Coppinger, he's going to be back in the second or third quarter of next year. I'm thinking, okay, so the February thing is off. So he could be back in May and then maybe again in September, which is pretty much his regular schedule anyway, right? Depending on how this elbow surgery goes. I was listening to Paulie Malignaggi, right? I want to get to this. Let me get to I dropped a poll. If you guys voted, let me see here. I want to see where we're at the poll. If you guys want a rematch between Canelo and Crawford. And let me see. Where the hell's the poll at? Okay, there it is. Okay. So I got 52 votes. Okay, out of 52. So I had four choices up there. Yes, no, not right away, and either way doesn't matter to me. We'll start with the lowest. Not right away got 0 votes. Out of 52 votes, nobody voted for not right away. Either way doesn't matter to me. Got 6%. No got 37%. And yes got 58%. So most people, at least out of these 52 people here that voted, want to see the rematch. Listen to what Paulie Malignaggi had to say. Well, I am pumped for heavyweight. Listen to what Paulie Malignaggi had to say. I think it makes sense to rebuild this fight if it happens again. If, okay, not that it's going to. Because honestly, Holmes, I have not really heard anybody on Canelo's side, Canelo included. I haven't really heard them talk much or say that they want a rematch. I've never really heard them say anything about some rematch or anything of that sort. But what Paulie Malignaggi said was, if Canelo comes back, he should, if they're going to do a rematch with Terence Crawford, that he should go fight Chris Eubank Jr. Unless Conor Benn beats him. Damn right. But if Chris Eubank Jr. wins, go fight Chris, beat Chris, and then you could rebuild that rematch between Canelo and Crawford. And I think that makes sense if you want to do the rematch. Because I'm going to tell you guys right now, man, doing that rematch right away, I think it'll do big numbers. I don't think it'll do as big as the first one did. I think it'll still make some good feria. Don't get me wrong. And I think it'll still get some good views. I just don't think it'll make as much. Crawford beat him pretty decisively. There needs to be some storyline there. Canelo needs to go. He needs to look great. He needs to get this elbow surgery, come back, have a fight, look great, possibly stop someone, whether he knocks him out or somebody throws in the towel, the referee stops it, the corner stops it, no mas, whatever it may be. And then rebuild this rematch. You know, out of those 52 people, you know, more than half want to see that rematch. I'll be honest with you guys, man. As it stands right now, I don't really want to see it. I'd rather see other fights. I'd rather see Crawford go down to 160 and fight those guys. If he wants to stay at 168, cool, stay at 168. There's fights there to be made as well. As far as Canelo, after this elbow surgery, if he's ready to rock and roll, there's some good fights for him at 168 as well. But now there's a big storyline if you want to rebuild this rematch, there is a big storyline with, hey, he needed elbow surgery, right? Now you could say that's an excuse, and in a way it is. He can go and get a good victory after the elbow surgery and say, look how great he looked after that elbow surgery. Now let's build this Crawford Canelo fight back up. Because right now, dog, I don't hear a lot of buzz about a rematch. I know there's some of you that really want to see a rematch, but I don't see or feel the buzz in the boxing world of like, man, this needs to happen. And like I said, myself included, I'm not even really pushing for that myself. I think a few things are going to have to take place to start building this thing back up, if the rematch ever even happens at all. Like I said, if it doesn't happen, I'm cool with it. There's other fights I'd like to see. Let me see. Rossi, Canelo versus Benavides. Okay, Andrew. Let me ask everybody this. Okay. All right. I'm gonna read through some of these other chats. Okay. I'm gonna read through some of these chats. But in the meantime, I want you guys to answer me this question. Are you still as interested to see Canelo versus Benavides? I'm not asking you, do you still want to see it? I'm asking you, are you still as interested? Before Crawford, think of how interested you were in that fight. After Crawford, you're probably still interested in that fight, but are you still as interested in that fight? Let me go through some of these chats here. Wilder versus Ruiz. Yeah, man. Fury versus Ruiz. Joshua versus Wilder. Chola, I want Usyk versus Moses. You know what? Hey, Holmes, call me whatever the heck you want, man. I still want to see Joshua versus Wilder. Oh, yeah, they're both past their prime and everything. I still want to see it. Canelo is done. I still think he beats a lot of those dudes at 168, Gordito. Canelo needs to retire, arm surgery, and he can't let them go. He doesn't throw a lot of punches. That is true. He does not throw a lot of punches, and this is not his first surgery that he's had. Canelo needs TKO his next fight. Yes, he does. He needs some sort of stoppage to build him back up, to get people invested in him. He's still a star. Don't get me wrong. He's still a star. He's still a bigger star than Crawford is, just like he was still a bigger star than Bivol. So he's still a star. He still will sell. Crawford broke Canelo's spirit. Oh, gosh, there's no surgery for that, homie. Okay, Canelo versus Benavides at 169. Okay, catch weight. Canelo is not champion. Do we want to see it for a title? I've said this before. I don't even really care much about titles. I just want to see this guy versus that guy. What title are they fighting for? I don't care, dog. That's just me personally. When I think about the great fights in the past, I'll be real with everybody. I don't know what titles they were fighting for. I don't know if they were fighting for a title. I don't know if they were unification bouts. I don't remember that. I just remember the fight. I just remember, man, I wanted to see this guy versus this guy. Boom, it was finally happening. Okay, do you remember, were they unifying 2 straps, 3 straps? Was it for undisputed? Was it all 4 straps? I don't know. And I don't care. That's all I really want to see. Let me see. And I want Crawford versus the winner. Okay, Canelo versus Benavides. I think Benavides will probably agree to a catch weight for Canelo. I don't think he'll agree to a catch weight for Crawford. 168. I mean, okay. Either way, I think David, maybe he won't go down. Maybe he'll go down to 168 for Canelo. Maybe, right? A catch weight's not a bad idea. I don't know what title they're gonna fight for. Canelo doesn't have a strap anymore. Bivol has all the straps at 175. So if they meet at a catch weight, I think that's fine. I don't really care about that. Some people don't like catch weights; they hate catch weights. But like I said, for no title, it doesn't matter to me. Demetrius says no. Andrew says yes, I am. You're still as interested. Okay. Rematch, then retire. All right. Yeah, I mean, preferred them to have a rematch. I'll be real. I don't want Crawford or Canelo to retire. I still think there's good fights. Financially, there's nothing out there for Crawford. Everything is going to be a huge pay cut for him. 70% is still Canelo, though, Cholo. Okay. I want to see top fighters fighting each other like back in the days. Yeah, and that's what I say, Andrew. That's what I said. Like all this title stuff and everything. Like, yes, I understand it builds it up. Their promotion. Hey, man, this guy's a WBC champion, the WBA, right? It's like, oh, they're gonna unify the straps. Okay, cool. That's cool. That's great. Let's use that. We can promote that. They're champions. It's all good, great, and dandy. But ultimately, I've been watching boxing since the mid 80s. All the fights that I've seen, man, I'll be honest with you guys, man, all the great fights and everything, I just remember it's for the heavyweight champion. What championship? Heck, I don't know, dog. And I don't even care. I just remember saying it, or people saying it. It's for the heavyweight championship. All right, dog. I don't know what championship they're talking about, nor did I care. Let's see. Bud already said he wouldn't fight. Bud already said he wouldn't fight Crawford. I think you mistyped there, Gordito. Let me see. Boxing shot itself in the foot when lost because he still got 150 mil. Astana and Turkey are not going to this anymore in the future. Zuffa. We're going to get into Zuffa in a second. I don't see Benavidez fighting either one of them. I will say this about Benavidez. Okay, Bud said he wouldn't fight Benavidez. Okay, all right. And I can understand that because there's not a huge paycheck to fight a big, giant dude like that. See, for Canelo, it's worth it because there's a lot of money that comes with it. But to fight Benavidez, you're not getting that much money the way Crawford got for Canelo. And he's not going to get that paycheck with anybody. So that's why I'm saying I still believe Canelo's going to fight. I do. I still think he has 2-3 fights in him. I think he does fight. If Chris Eubank Jr. wins, I do believe Canelo fights Chris Eubank Jr. in the UK. That would sell huge out there. Nobody cares about Chris Eubank Jr. over here, dog. Nobody cares about that dude. My boy Conor Benn, he's going to become a big star. I'll get to that in a second. He's going to become a big star over here, Holmes. But nobody cares about Chris Eubank Jr. over here. But they do over there. And if he beats Conor Benn again, him versus Canelo next year in the UK, come on, dog. They could do that sucker at the Wembley Stadium. That sucker will sell out. So there's still big money out there for Canelo. For Crawford, this was it. He could still make some decent money, but nah, not even close to what he made with Canelo. So I think Crawford, he's got some thinking to do, man, on what he wants to do next. There are fights I want to see him in. I do. It'd be Friedman if he goes to 160 and fights some of those guys. I still want to see Virgil versus Crawford. I still do want to see that fight. It's just that the money for Crawford, I don't know whatever's on Crawford's mind, man. Whatever's on his mind, because everything from here, barring a rematch that needs to be rebuilt with Canelo, if that does not happen, everything from here is going to be a huge pay cut. Let me see. The fans decide who the champ with their. You know what, Zeke? You're right. I've been saying that. I've been saying that. I've said that before. Look, boxing, it's about who's the superstar, man. Just because you're the champ, that does not make you the guy. Probably makes you the better fighter, depending on what division we're talking about, what time, who's in that division. Sure. But yeah, it is the fans. It's ultimately who the fans want to see. Do the fans want to see this guy? Do they want to see that guy? That guy's the champ. Yeah, but is Landy Lara, he's a champion. Who the heck wants to see Lara fight? Who in the flying flip, homie, is going to pay to watch Lara fight? Canelo just came off a loss. People are still going to pay to watch him fight. So yeah, man. People have the myth in their head that the best always fought the best, and it's just not true. Roy Jones, and Fraud Mayweather ducked a ton of people. Yeah. Well, first of all, man, I was a big fan of Roy Jones Jr., man. That dude has some skills. I mean, yeah, we can always go back. You're right. There's definitely areas right there where the best in fight the best. And the whole Pacquiao versus Mayweather thing was like, oh man, they fought each other way too late in their career. That happened before as well, man. Ray Boom Boom Mancini fought Hector Macho Camacho when they were already in their twilight of the career. Dog, it's like that fight needed to happen like 4 years before they actually fought. 4 or 5 years, right? But instead they got in the ring way past their prime, and they just kind of lost some steam. Now, it wasn't as big as Mayweather-Pacquiao, because Mayweather and Pacquiao were the two big stars in all of boxing at that time. Boom Boom and Hector were not the biggest stars in boxing at that time. But yes, there's definitely examples all over boxing that, yeah, it wasn't always the best versus the best. However, where we've been at in the last 15 years, maybe even more, it's actually more prevalent now because all the different promotions that are out there, all the, sides of the street, and it's like these guys with that promotion, that guys with that promotion, they'll go ahead and they'll work with each other once in a great while when they make Wilder versus Fury, but then they won't work with each other to make some of these other fighters get in there with each other, so, I think it happens more now. Canelo Eubank mega fight, definitely, especially out in the UK. Turkey owns Canelo now. He won't do what Turkey wants. Canelo is still the name. He needs to make power moves in boxing. We got to see what's up with his contract. I wonder. I mean, Canelo is pretty powerful, man. He controls his career. So, I've had little interest in Canelo since the Bivol loss, awful competition and not staying sharp. In my opinion, the only person that wants to see Nelo is Mikey. Orale, dog. I'm gonna screenshot that, Dimitri. I'm gonna send it to Mikey, man, who decided to take the week off. I still think they're looking to match him with Shiraz. I still think so as well. It just probably doesn't have to be next because I think the Turk does want Shiraz to beat Canelo. However, if the Turk has Canelo beat Chris Eubank Jr. in a huge mega event, not for us over here on this side of the world, but across the pond, it's going to be huge. It's going to be mega event. Have Canelo beat Chris Eubank Jr., then you get the big pump up match with Canelo and Shiraz. Bud versus Benavides, plus he already beat the other, but he did. He beat the Jose Benavides. Yeah, he did. Just had 10-year run. Cholo, people need to relax. No, I mean, hey man, Canelo was on top of the game for a long time, dog. For a long, long time, I mean, look how many fights he's had. He's been on top for a long time, and he took risks. He never fought Benavides, and I think the guys, I think the people that don't like Canelo will always hold that against him, right? To a certain degree, it's fair. To a certain degree, outside of David Benavides, he fought everybody outside of David Benavides. And he lost. He moved up to fight Dimitri Bivol, and he lost, right? He fought Floyd Mayweather when he was just like, 22 or something like that, and he lost. He fought Terrence Crawford, and he lost, right? So, I mean, I like Canelo, dog. I do. Now wear and tear. He does not throw as many punches as he used to once upon a time. And now his style has kind of become stagnant. His style now, and it's been like this for a while, is I'm just going to walk you down, load up on my punches. I'm not going to throw a lot of punches, but man, you're going to feel this body shot I'm about to give you. Right? And now his opponent ends up being reserved because he doesn't want to get hit openly with one of these shots. But somebody who's a really good, skillful boxer like Terrence Crawford, it's probably not going to work with them, man. As we saw, he needed to catch Terrence Crawford with one of those shots to change the fight. He never really got that shot in. See, the whole old saying, like, styles make fights, right? We all know Canelo beat Caleb Plant. Okay? Knocked him out. However, in my opinion, I think Caleb Plant stands a better chance against Terrence Crawford than Canelo does. Why? Caleb Plant throws a lot of punches. He's got fast hands, good combinations. Styles make fights. The triangle theory doesn't work in boxing. We all know that. Do I think Caleb Plant beats Terrence Crawford? No. But I'm saying I think Caleb Plant has a better shot at Terrence Crawford than Canelo because Canelo does not throw a lot of punches. And he doesn't have, fast combinations. But I still think Canelo, dog, I still think he puts it to a lot of those dudes at 168. Let's see. France, only big money is Canelo, Fraud Mayweather, Manny Pac, Stank Davis, Jake Paul. Oh, Zeke the sneak is going in, man. Let me see. Like 50. Yeah, man. He's still champ. He's still champ at 160. Okay, hopefully you follow me. But boxing has always had divas and other side of the street. Mob running boxing, Don King, Bob Arum, Showtime. Yes, it's always had sides of the street. I mean, Don King was a complete crook, but he put on some great fights. He robbed the heck out of his fighters. So for that reason, he's a scumbag, but he really put on some really good fights. Floyd. Give a name to a side and B side, and that's basically what everybody brings up. And yeah, before Floyd, I think you're onto something there. I don't really remember. I remember that being a thing, but nobody actually having names for it. I don't remember back in the 90s talking about A side, B side. I don't really remember hearing this side of the street, that side of the street. Yes, it may have existed. Absolutely. You knew who the star was, right? But I think when the Floyd Mayweather era came around, I think it actually gave it a name. So yeah, because before that, I didn't really hear anybody call it, give it a name. But was it in existence? Yeah, to a certain degree. Said be open, Benavides fight, and never said no. Butter's Canelo presser, though. Okay, all right. Showtime taking over HBO. Yeah. All right. Well, look, man, we'll see what happens with Canelo. He's gonna be out. He's not coming back in February. But looks like we'll get him somewhere in May, or which is his regular schedule anyway. All right, let's get into the whole Zuffa boxing thing, man, because I do want to play a video here. Let's get into the Zuffa boxing thing. So it's official. I am, and I've said this to you guys before, right? But it's becoming more prevalent now. I am a WWE fan. I love wrestling. You know, there's Senor Money in the Bank. There's my WWE towel up there. I've said it before. There's two loves that I have. There's other sports I like. I like football. I like baseball. But I got into those sports when I was like in my teens, right? But ever since I can remember I was alive, the two loves that I've always loved watching, man, since I was like 4, okay? Boxing and wrestling, okay? For the first time ever, me watching wrestling, they are promoting the heck out of boxing. They promoted it at SummerSlam. They were promoting it at WrestleMania. I was at WrestleMania earlier this year. I've never, ever seen wrestling or the WWE promote boxing as much as they've been promoting it in the last year. Man, they're promoting the heck out of it. And that video that I dropped, that was Joe Tessitore. Yes, Joe Tessitore, who used to call ESPN boxing. He does do Monday Night Raw, WWE. That's what he does now. And they went ahead and announced during Monday Night Raw for everybody to see the whole Zuffa boxing, right? I just thought I'd share that just to let you guys know that this whole TKO thing, I mean, it's all one big umbrella, homie. It's all one big umbrella. Okay. The Turk, he's got his hands all over this thing. All right. So if you just think about boxing, no, he's got his hands in the WWE as well. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to turn this into a wrestling show here, but the biggest wrestling show in wrestling history, WrestleMania in 2027, it's been announced, is going to be in Saudi Arabia. That's never happened before, ever. They've had shows in Saudi Arabia, but not WrestleMania, which is the biggest wrestling show ever in the existence of humanity. So this Turkey Al Sheikh dude and this TKO brand, they're making some movidas on me. Okay. This Zuffa boxing thing, I believe at some point, not next year, not the year after, not even in 2030. But if we fast forward to 2035, 2040, I do believe this Zuffa boxing thing will monopolize boxing. I understand the whole pushback. Nah, it'll never happen. It will never happen. There's too many boxers out there. There's too many. Let me tell all you guys this. Okay. Let me tell everybody this. Okay. There is a lot of wrestlers globally, and there's many promotions. But everybody knows that's where it's at. The WWE. You could go to TNA, you could go to AEW, you could go to promotions in Japan, in South America. Heck, I go to indie shows pretty often. Shout outs to my boy Jesse Hernandez. Empire Wrestling Federation. There is so many wrestlers globally. Most wrestlers around the world don't wrestle in the WWE. Why am I bringing that up? Like I said, I'm not going to turn this into a wrestling show. I bring this up because that is what I believe this is the beginning of in boxing. Sure, you're going to have other promotions. Yes, you are. And I'm not talking about next year or the next 5 years. I'm talking about the next 10, 15 years. It's going to be a slow process. And while you are going to have boxing going on outside of Zuffa, I think Zuffa is going to be the most popular. I think that's going to be the most, where people are going to find the most interest. Just like WWE is. Doesn't mean that because WWE monopolized wrestling, it doesn't mean there's not wrestling going on outside of the WWE. Major League Baseball. My Dodgers play tomorrow. There's baseball leagues all over the world. There's a boxing, there's a baseball leagues in Mexico, in Central America, Puerto Rico, Japan. There's baseball leagues everywhere, dog. Baseball is pretty global. MLB is where it's at, though. MLB has monopolized baseball. Doesn't mean there's not baseball anywhere else. Most baseball players around the world do not play in the MLB. There's many leagues. But if you bring up baseball, everybody knows MLB. Same thing with MMA. See, everybody says UFC. They don't even say MMA because that's how much UFC has monopolized MMA. UFC is not a sport. MMA is the sport. But people just say UFC. There's many of mixed martial art promotions out there. Many of them. They have shows right here, not too far from me. I've never heard of those promotions, smaller promotions. But everybody knows UFC, that's where it's at. That's where the big bucks are at. The big shows. So they've monopolized the sport of MMA. That doesn't mean there aren't other MMA promotions or there's not any other MMA fighters or anything. Yeah, because there's promotions and fighters all over the world. But UFC, that's where it's at. And I think that's where we're headed with boxing. I do think this is going to work when it comes to the Zuffa. I don't know why it's called Zuffa. What does Zuffa even mean? Does anybody know what Zuffa means? I don't know what it means, but here's what we know. Here's the little details that we know, okay? It's going to be based here on this side of the world. They're not focusing on the UK. They're not focusing on Australia, Japan, anywhere across the pond. They're focusing on North America and South America and Mexico, right? Okay, so it's going to be on this side of the world. Why are they calling it Zuffa? I don't know. What the heck does Zuffa even mean? Look, I've said this before. I'm going to say it again, dog. I wish it were an American. I don't care about race. I just wish it were American. I don't care that the dude is Saudi. If he was Saudi, fine, by all means. I got no problems with it. I just wish he were from here. I just wish he were from Detroit and have his parents be from Saudi Arabia. I don't care if the dude's black. I don't care if the dude, I really don't care about the race. I just wish it were an American. That is it. But it's not. All right. So they're going to be focusing on this side of the world. They're going to have 400. I see two different reports. One I see 420. Another one I see 430. And then one report said 450 fighters. So I'm not even really sure. Okay. Nonetheless, they're going to have more than 400 fighters. All right. In their stable. Okay. These guys are not going to be stars. They're going to build them as stars. And it can work. See, everybody's thinking about short term. I see you guys in the chat, man, but everybody's thinking about short term. They're not thinking about short term, homie. They're not thinking about short term. They're not thinking about taking over boxing next year. They're not thinking about taking over boxing in the next 2 or 3 years. They're not thinking that. They're thinking a decade from now and beyond. You guys seen the show The Ultimate Fighter? There used to be a boxing one called The Contender. Heck, Sergio the Latin Snake Mora won the very first Contender. Hey, homie, I'm from East Los. I didn't know who Sergio Mora was. But what happened? What happens? Story. Storylines. You get to know these guys. Tells their story. This is why like The Ultimate Fighter is so popular, right? I don't even watch UFC. But that show, The Ultimate Fighter, I did find it intriguing. Why? Do I know any of those dudes? No, I don't know anything about them. But because they live in a house, you get to see their story. You get to find out a little bit more of these guys. It's like, okay, cool, dog. Hey, you know what? I actually like this dude. Hey, you know what? I don't like that dude, homie. Man, I can't wait till that fool gets his ass whooped. Okay, I want this dude to beat that dude. I want that dude to lose. I want this dude to get knocked out. I want this guy to win. That's what happens. Yeah, I went into that show not knowing who any of these dudes even were. I didn't know who Peter Manfredo was. I didn't know who Sergio Mora was. I didn't know who else was in a season of The Contender. Alfonso Gomez. It probably wasn't season 1. I'm just going off different season. K9 Bundridge. He was in a season. I saw him fight at the Fantasy Springs Casino one time. Man, that dude's so damn sloppy, man, in his fighting. He has a podcast too, but a lot of these dudes, I didn't know who they were. But due to the show and giving you a piece of who they are, right? Their history, their attitude, rooting for this guy, rooting against that guy. It changes the game, dog. It changes the game. So that's why, yeah, I do think it's going to work because they're going to build their own stars the way other promotions don't build their stars. Especially when you got some of these fights, even on places like DAZN, where it's still doing pay-per-views. Dog, it's DAZN. And you're still doing pay-per-views. But do I think Zuffa is going to monopolize boxing at some point down the line, many years down the line? Yeah, I do. I do. It's happened before. It happened with wrestling. That's how it happened with wrestling. It was the WWF. Then it went to Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon saw this vision. It was all the territories. Just like in boxing today, it's all the promoters. And Vince said, I'm taking this to a different level. And I know what I got to do. Hulk Hogan was a wrestler before. He was around in different promotions. His name wasn't Hulk Hogan. Vince McMahon got a hold of him, said, well, I'm going to make you Hulk Hogan. We're going to put it on your back. We're going to make you popular. This is what we're going to do. We're going to build your character, put all the pieces right. Bam, starts blowing up. Let's get TV deals. Let's get you out there. Let's get your story out there. Let's get all this stuff going on. Nobody thought that wrestling was going to be monopolized before then. Everyone thought it was still going to be all the good old boys, man. The Mid-Atlantic, the South, the Texas territory, the Northeast territory, the Northwest territories, the Jim Crockett days and all that. So while everybody's still thinking about the stars today in boxing, that's not what Zuffa is thinking about. They're thinking about making their stars. Once these stars retire, they're thinking about their stars that they made, that they built up. And then once they become big stars, they're money makers. Who's going to compete? What promotion is going to compete with the Turks' money? If anything, somebody who signed with Golden Boy or Top Rank, and Top Rank's having some issues right now, it's like the Turk will pay you to have your guy come over here and fight my guy, if that has to happen. But I'm not saying I'm rooting for this. I'm not saying I'm rooting for this. I'm simply saying I think this is going to work. Because monopolizing does not mean that the sport does not exist outside of your circle. What it means that you're the big times, baby. There's other football leagues. The NFL is where it's at. Baseball is all over the world. MLB that's where it's at. You got European basketball leagues and everything, man, dog. Come on. NBA, that's where it's at. And that's where Zuffa is going to get to. I truly believe that's where he's going to get to. What does Zuffa mean, dog? I know I asked that question. Does anybody know what Zuffa means? Honestly, I don't like the name. These new guys in Zuffa can't beat a Boots, Ennis, or Shakur. How far can they really go in terms of making top money? You lose money. You lose money in the beginning. You lose money in the beginning because you're in it for the long haul to make money. That's why I'm saying this Zuffa thing is not going to compete with the stars of today. But the stars of today eventually are going to fade away. And these new Zuffa guys, they're going to become the stars. Slowly. But it's going to happen. And look how many guys have gone with the Turk. Even if they go to fight for him one time. Why? Because he offers the money. But that's what I'm saying. Don't think about the stars of today. The stars of today are going to outshine these Zuffa guys. Whatever the heck Zuffa means. But years down the line, that's not going to be the case. Zuffa will make a splash, though, in the future for sure, Cholo. Zuffa is Italian, means fight. Does it? Okay. Okay. I did not know that. All of a sudden, everyone wanting to fight Terrence Crawford now. And I want to see some of those fights. I do. All right. Let me see. The Zuffa name sucks. I don't like the Zuffa name myself. It's kind of whatever, man. Okay. Hey, look, check this out, man. Before I wrap it up here, I'm gonna play a video. I think it's only right that I do this here on this channel. Last night, I was live on my Cholo Trucker channel. All right. And if you guys know, I got in the ring back on September 13th. Okay. Fighting a couple of other YouTubers. Now, the only reason why I'm playing it on this channel, why I'm going to repeat it on this channel, like I did on my Cholo Trucker channel last night, is simply because I went live on this channel, so everybody was able to see it. Now, What I'm talking about here is the fact that people saying that I tackled somebody inside of the boxing ring. Okay. I fought this guy, Chicano Tube, Mike Diaz. We went 5 rounds, and in the 5th round, he went down. Okay. Now, at first, I thought it was all a joke when people were saying, like, hey, man, you took him down like MMA style. I just kind of laughed with it, because I thought we were all in on the joke, right? And then come to find out, I had people telling me, hey, man, people really believe, they're really saying that you tackled them or just bull rushed them to the ground. And that's when it hit me. It's like, okay, but that's not what happened. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play just a piece of the video that I did, a piece of the live that I did last night, explaining it and showing that I did not tackle him. I landed a short right hand followed by a left hand, and he went down. I did not tackle him. And like I said, I'm doing it here on this channel because I did go live here on this channel when I fought in the ring. Shout outs to him. Shout outs to Chicano Tube. And shout outs to Conrad, who's not going to be in this video because there's no need for him to be on this video. But shout outs to Mile High Hustle. That's a true classy dude right there. I shared the ring with him as well. But let me bring up this video here. Let's see here. Okay. Should be a little bit weird seeing myself. All right. If you guys saw my live on Cholo Trucker last night, then this is going to be 100% repetitive. But if you didn't, this is where I show it and explain it. So I'm going to tap out, and it's going to be explained and shown right here. But for those that are saying that I went ahead and I tackled him, I just want to show real quick 2 different angles here. All right. So this is about where he's about to go down. And I don't know this, only he knows this. His knee gave out when I landed that right. Okay. Look, here we go. Again, slow motion so you guys can see. Okay. Okay. See, right here, I'm not touching him. My head's not on him. My shoulder's not driving into him. Nothing. I'm coming with the right hand. Okay. Now my right hand lands on his jaw right there. You guys were able to see that. Maybe I should have slowed it down. Right there, you guys can see my right hand land on his jaw, and it looks like he takes a step back. And I'm assuming, like I said, I don't want to speak for him, but I'm assuming that's where his knee gave out because it looks like he started going down. Landed the right. Okay. Now my head's not touching him. His left arm comes over my head, and I'm going to come up with the left. I'm in close quarters, yes. I land the left right there. Now, you guys might say, yeah, well, what about your right hand? I'm going to show you guys a different angle, but it looks like he's going down already. I'm assuming his knee gave out at that moment. So if you're saying, well, then how did you fall? You guys can see right here, my shoulder's not driving into him. My head's not driving into him. My right hand is actually behind him, and I'll show you guys that angle in a second. The reason why I go down is look at his left arm. His left arm starts wrapping my head. I'm still up. Again, my shoulder's not driving into him. He's already going down. He grabs me. His left arm grabs behind my neck to my back, and he pulls me down with him. And for those that are saying you landed flat on top of him. No, I did not. I did not land flat on top of him. Look, my arms came down. My body is not laid on top of him. My hands came down to break it. Nor did my knees crush his knee. You guys can see his knee. I don't know if you guys see the arrow right here. That's his left knee, and then his right knee is right underneath that. My leg is over here. But no, I did not tackle him. Just show it one last time, and I'll show a different angle. And maybe it's trolls. Okay, that's where I land the right. That's where I land the right hand. Okay, now I'm not pushing him. It looks like he's going down. When he took that right step back, I think that's where his knee gave out. And the reason why I go down is because he takes me down with him. But I do not land flat on top of him. Okay, so let me bring up a different angle. And you guys can see his face turn angle. All right, let me get myself out of here. Okay, shout outs to Pomona Soul Sounds. Okay, this is an angle that not too many people have seen unless you go watch his footage. So this is actually from behind Mike Diaz. All right, you guys can see his feet. They're a little bit squared up. All right. So he throws a right. It goes over my head. If you guys see, I'm winding up with the right hand. And that's where I'm throwing the right hand. Okay. You guys aren't going to be able to see me throw the left. That's why I showed it to you guys already because of the angle. But this is where I land the right hand. You guys can see his face turn right there. You guys see him take that right step back? I think that's where he blew out his knee or whatever. I don't know what happened to his knee, but he takes a right step back when I hit him right there. And it looks like that's where he's going down. Now, from this angle, you don't see me throw the left hand. Right? But what you do see that you didn't see in the other angle is that I'm not pushing him with my right hand. My right hand goes behind him. My right hand is towards his back. I'm not pushing him down. By the way, he's already going down. And you guys can see what he's doing with his left arm. He gets my head. And he pulls me down with him. And that's how I go down. So I'll just go ahead and put it in. Just let it play out. So right here, come with the right hand. Land the right hand, he steps back, and he starts going down already. And he takes me down with him. So, anyway. All right, so I thought it was only fair to play that on here as well because I was live on here at that event. I saw what you put out there, Anthony Bravo. Who cares what other people say? You're right. No, I don't care, and I don't feel like I really have to explain myself. I just want to go ahead, put that evidence out there, and everybody can go ahead and say whatever they want to say. But at least I put my piece out there. That is it. I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything else. And it was probably mainly just trolls that were saying that I tackled him to the ground, which I did not tackle him to the ground. Did I feel a certain way that the referee didn't call it a knockdown? I'm not gonna lie. I kind of did. You know, he went down, he took me down with him. I got back up and I kind of give that, you know, like, all right, you know. Then I go back and the referee helps him up, and I'm just kind of like, damn, I put my hands on my knees, like, what the heck? I felt a little certain way, you know, about that, but nonetheless, it was a sparring session. It's not like there was gonna be a winner or a loser. It was just, hey, let's just get in there. He dropped me, no complaints about it. he dropped me, and that was fine. So I did feel a little bit of a certain way because at that time, at that moment, there was a shot of me kind of like leaning against the rope like that with my mouthpiece kind of like out here. I was a little frustrated, man, because I was just thinking in my head, like, so when he hit me, had I grabbed his arm and brought him down with me, you wouldn't have called it a knockdown, But nonetheless, he's not a professional referee. Shout outs to him. Shout out to Warzone Boxing Club. And yeah, and this is not a shot at Chicano Tube either. I just for anybody out there who was saying that I tackled him or I just bull rushed him to the ground, it's complete BS, man. I spoke my piece. Don't need to explain myself. There's the footage. There's the evidence. That's all I'm going to leave it at. So after that, I'm not going to be over here breaking my neck trying to convince anybody of anything, man. So I know I didn't do it. I showed I didn't do it. So there's that, man. But with that, all right, man. Gracias. Appreciate that, Andrew. Hey, shout out to everybody that was on here. Next Friday, we will be back full force with the three guys. There is a boxing event coming up October 18th in Pomona, California. I will be there. I had the promotion crew. I interviewed them on Wednesday, and I'll probably be dropping a little bit of, hype package videos just to remind you guys about it. But yeah, man, it's going to be a good event. You guys should roll through, man. I'm going to be there, ringside seat. If you guys are local, make it happen, man. And when I say local, I mean local in the head. Los Tres Chingones boxing. You guys know what I mean? All right, we're going to get up out of here, dog. Let me see. There it is. All right. Hey, not a lot going on. There's some fights across the pond. If you guys want to go and watch those. I'll probably be checking out some of those tomorrow night. So, but we will be back here next Friday with the boys, man. All right. Whatever you guys do this weekend, be safe doing it so we can come back and do it again. Till next time, this is Ed the Troll Chocolate, Los Tres Chingones Boxing. Catch you guys on next round.